There's a moment that comes quietly, sometimes in the middle of folding laundry, sipping tea alone, or waking up to a still house. It's a soft ache, not loud or urgent, but steady. You look around and wonder, is this all there is now? The days stretch on like a road with no signs, no clear destination. Friends have moved, some have passed, the children have their own lives. And though your body may still carry you forward, your spirit feels paused. It's not that you're unhappy, but somewhere along the way, the spark, the sense of being needed, of having something to wake up for, has grown dim. You used to be someone's rock, someone's planner, someone's purpose. Now it feels like you're floating through days that look the same. And yet beneath that quiet emptiness, a whisper remains. There's still more. More to feel, more to give, more to become. Because purpose isn't something you had once and lost. It's something that evolves with you. It waits patiently beneath the surface, ready to be rediscovered. If you've ever felt invisible or wondered what's next, you're not alone. And more importantly, you are not done. This chapter of life holds its own kind of magic. Not the rush of youth, but the quiet brilliance of wisdom, freedom, and depth. In this video, we'll explore 5 powerful keys to reignite that sense of meaning and joy after 75. Not through grand gestures, but through gentle shifts that awaken your heart again. Because feeling lost is not the end, it's often the beginning of something beautiful. Welcome to Comfort Corner. If this is your first time here, I'm Michael, and I'm truly grateful you've joined us. This channel was created with a simple purpose: to be a warm, understanding space for those of us navigating the later chapters of life. A place where your feelings are valid, your stories matter, and your journey, no matter where you are on it, is still unfolding with possibility. At Comfort Corner, we speak directly to the heart of what it means to age with dignity, hope, and emotional richness. Whether it's exploring loneliness, rediscovering joy, managing health gently, or reigniting your sense of purpose, each video is crafted for you, with empathy, reflection, and care. I know that for many in their 70s, 80s, or beyond, the world can feel like it's moved on. But here, we pause, we listen, and we honor the wisdom, the struggles, and the quiet strength you carry, because your voice still matters, your story is still being written. So if you're someone who finds peace in thoughtful conversation, who still believes that growth and connection don't stop with age, please consider joining our little corner of the world. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment if something resonates with you, and share this video with someone who might be walking a similar path. Together, we can create a community where no one feels forgotten and where purpose is something we nurture, not chase. Now let's gently step into today's topic: 5 heartfelt, life-affirming keys that can help reignite your sense of meaning and joy, even when the road ahead feels uncertain. Sometimes the path forward is hidden in the footprints we left behind. When we feel lost, it's often not because our purpose has vanished, but because we've drifted too far from the parts of ourselves that once made us feel alive. Reconnecting with past joys isn't about clinging to youth. It's about rediscovering the seeds of passion and meaning that were always ours to begin with. Close your eyes and think back. Was there a time when your hands were always busy, knitting, painting, repairing something around the house? Did your heart feel full when you were helping others, organizing family gatherings, or perhaps writing letters just to say you cared? These small joys weren't just hobbies or habits. They were expressions of who you are at your core. Now imagine bringing just one of those moments back. Not as a duty or expectation, but as a gift to yourself. Maybe it's opening an old photo album and writing captions for each memory. Maybe it's picking up a paintbrush, not to create a masterpiece, but simply to feel the color flow again. Or calling up an old friend, just to hear a familiar voice that remembers you as you once were and still are. Science backs this too. Studies in the Journal of Aging Studies have shown that engaging in meaningful leisure activities from earlier in life can significantly improve emotional well-being and reduce feelings of purposelessness in older adults. Memory isn't just something that fades, it can also be something that fuels. And here's the truth: joy never really leaves us. It just gets buried under time, grief, or routine. But it waits, quietly, for us to return. And when we do, even for a moment, that spark begins to flicker again. That flicker, that's purpose, calling you home. There is a quiet, powerful kind of purpose that comes not from achievement, but from offering. And after 75, one of the most beautiful ways to rediscover meaning is by sharing the wisdom life has carved into you. Not through lectures or speeches, but through presence, stories, and guidance offered with an open heart. You have lived through decades of change: love, loss, resilience, mistakes, victories. That experience is not just memory, it's medicine. There are people, young people, neighbors, even strangers, who are hungry for the kind of perspective only time can teach. You don't need a stage or a platform. Sometimes all it takes is listening with compassion or gently telling someone, "I've been there too." Consider mentoring, formally or informally. You might find a local school, library, or community center that pairs older adults with youth. Or maybe it's simply taking time to talk with a grandchild, not to instruct them, but to share what you wish someone had told you. These small moments when someone looks at you and sees not just an elder, but a lighthouse in their storm can be deeply healing. Volunteering is another pathway. According to the National Institute on Aging, older adults who volunteer even just a few hours a week experience lower rates of depression, greater life satisfaction, and even improvements in physical health. Why? Because giving reminds us that we still matter, that we are still needed. Your wisdom is not outdated, it's timeless. Your presence may be exactly what someone else needs to feel less alone, less afraid, more understood. And in giving that gift, you'll often find your own sense of purpose blooming in the quiet gratitude reflected back to you. Sometimes the path to feeling whole again is simply this, letting your life be a guidepost for someone else who's still learning to find their way. In the midst of uncertainty, it's often the small, steady rituals that keep us grounded. When life feels shapeless, when days blur into one another and meaning slips quietly out of reach, purpose can begin to reappear in the form of gentle structure. Not the rigid schedules of our working years, but soul-nourishing rhythms that give shape to our time and soothe the heart. Think of a morning cup of tea, sipped slowly by the window as the light shifts across the floor. A short walk through the neighborhood, noticing how the flowers have bloomed a little more today than yesterday. A quiet moment each evening to jot down 3 things that made you smile. These are not tasks, they are anchors. Routines remind us that we still have power to shape our days. They help restore a sense of agency, of belonging within the passage of time. According to a study published in The Gerontologist, older adults who maintain consistent daily routines experience lower levels of anxiety and greater emotional resilience. Predictability, it turns out, is not boring. It's comforting. Your routine doesn't have to look like anyone else's. Maybe it's lighting a candle before you begin your day, listening to classical music while preparing a simple breakfast, watering your plants with intention as if offering life not only to them, but to your own spirit. These acts, repeated in kindness, become rituals of presence. And in that presence, purpose often stirs. Because when we begin to treat our time as sacred, even in the smallest of ways, we start to reconnect with our worth. We realize we are not drifting through life. We are choosing how to live it, one gentle ritual at a time. So if the world feels too big, too fast, too lonely, start small. Start soft. Let the rhythm of your days become a quiet song that brings you back to yourself. One of the quietest forms of grief in later life is the loss of who we used to be. The titles we held, mother, father, worker, provider, caregiver, once gave us purpose, structure, and recognition. But when those roles fall away, they often leave behind an echo. And in that silence, it's easy to feel invisible, uncertain, unmoored. But what if this emptiness isn't a void, but a canvas? Letting go of past labels doesn't mean erasing who you were. It means gently loosening your grip on identities that no longer serve you to make space for who you are becoming. You were a teacher. Now you might be a poet. You were a business person. Now maybe you're a mentor, an explorer, a gardener of small joys. It's never too late to begin again, not from scratch, but from experience. Your years have not closed doors. They've carved open new ones, quieter and deeper, waiting for your knock. Ask yourself, what have I always been curious about, but never had time to explore? Is there a creative spark that flickered long ago, writing, painting music, that still lingers in the dark? Are there causes you care about, communities you could join, classes you've been meaning to take but hesitated to try? In a study from Harvard Health Publishing, seniors who actively sought out new roles and hobbies after retirement reported not only improved mental health, but a greater sense of identity continuity. That is, a sense that life still had direction and meaning, even as outer roles changed. The truth is, society may not always see your becoming, but that doesn't make it less real. You are allowed to grow, to change, to try something completely new. Age does not diminish your capacity, it expands your depth. So take off the old name tags, let yourself breathe. There is life yet to be shaped, art yet to be made, and new facets of yourself waiting quietly to be discovered. Not all purpose comes dressed in grand ambition. Sometimes it tiptoes in quietly through the smallest, most ordinary details of our days. A morning bird's song, the way sunlight dances through the trees, the scent of bread warming in the oven. These moments, if we allow them, can become gentle sparks that stir the soul awake. Wonder isn't reserved for the young. In fact, as we age, our capacity to notice, to really notice, deepens. We have the time and the wisdom to see what others rush past. And in that noticing, we rediscover purpose not as a destination, but as a state of being, a way of seeing. Begin by inviting small experiences of awe into your life. Sit outside and watch the sky slowly shift. Read a poem aloud to yourself and savor the rhythm of the words. Visit a local art exhibit or spend time in nature with no agenda but to observe. According to research published in Frontiers in Psychology, older adults who regularly experience awe and wonder report greater emotional well-being, increased gratitude, and a renewed sense of connection to the world. These moments don't erase pain or loneliness, but they soften the edges. They remind us that even within the quiet, there is beauty. That even now, life is still offering something sacred. And you don't need perfect health, wealth, or energy to feel wonder. You just need to be open. Open to letting the ordinary become extraordinary again. Open to letting joy bloom without needing a reason. In time, these tiny, daily encounters with wonder weave together like threads in a tapestry, and suddenly, you're no longer drifting. You're living fully, presently, and with heart. Purpose doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers through the wind chimes, through a shared smile, through the pages of a book that moves you. And when you learn to listen for it, you may find it was never lost, just waiting to be seen again. So if you've been feeling adrift, wondering where your sense of purpose has gone, know this: you are not alone, and you are not without direction. Purpose doesn't disappear with age. It simply changes shape. Sometimes it hides in familiar corners, waiting patiently for us to return with new eyes. We began by looking back, rediscovering the joys that once lit our spirit. Those passions, forgotten or shelved, can still be reclaimed and made new again. Then we turned outward, exploring how offering your wisdom to others can create connection and meaning beyond measure. Your stories, your presence, your time, they matter more than you know. From there, we moved inward again, grounding ourselves in gentle routines. These are not obligations, but invitations, daily moments that remind us we are still living, still choosing, still shaping time. We spoke, too, about the courage it takes to let go of old identities and allow new ones to bloom. Becoming doesn't end with age, it ripens. And finally, we embraced wonder, the quiet marvels that live inside each ordinary day. A sunrise, a poem, a glance. These aren't distractions from life. They are life. If there's one small thing you can do today, let it be this. Choose one key. Just one. Revisit an old hobby, write down a childhood memory, call someone who might need your story, take a short walk at the same time each day, or sit in silence and notice something beautiful you've never seen before. You don't need to fix everything. You don't have to know what's next. You only need to begin, gently, kindly, right where you are. Because the truth is, purpose doesn't demand greatness. It simply asks for presence. And you, just as you are today, are more than enough. If this message found its way to your heart, maybe it's because something deep within you is ready to feel again, to hope again, to believe that your days still hold meaning. And they do. Whether you're just beginning this chapter or walking through a season that feels heavy with silence, let this be your gentle reminder. You are not done. Life is not finished with you. Purpose isn't behind you. It's still unfolding, moment by moment. You don't have to search for something grand or world-changing. Sometimes your very presence, your way of noticing beauty, your way of loving quietly, your way of listening with full attention is the gift someone else needs most. Sometimes just showing up for yourself, for your day, is a form of courage the world forgets to honor. So if this video spoke to you, please consider sharing it with someone you care about. You never know who might need this message today. And if you'd like to walk this journey with us to find more comfort and clarity in life after 60, I invite you to subscribe to Comfort Corner. Leave a comment below. We read every one. This is more than a channel. It's a circle of hearts finding meaning together. I'm Michael from Comfort Corner, wishing you peace, health, and a heart full of hope.